for a moment and listen. Not just with your ears, but with your soul. There is no separation between you and the wealth you desire, except for one thing, your own acceptance. You have been told that money is hard to earn, that it requires sacrifice, that it is reserved for the fortunate few. But I tell you now, these are illusions, nothing more than shadows cast by the mind. Money is not outside of you. It is not something to be chased, to be begged for, or to be feared. It is an extension of you, an expression of the abundance that already exists within. The question is not whether money will come. The question is, have you accepted it? You see, the world does not give you what you want. It gives you what you are. If you believe in struggle, struggle will appear. If you believe in abundance, abundance will manifest. The wealthy do not become wealthy through effort alone. They become wealthy because they assume themselves to be so. Their state of mind commands their reality. So I ask you now, what do you assume about yourself? Do you see yourself as someone who constantly lacks, who barely gets by, who fears the arrival of bills? Or do you see yourself as someone to whom money comes naturally, as effortlessly as the air you breathe? Your imagination is the gateway to your fortune. The moment you stop waiting for money, the moment you stop hoping and start knowing, you will see how effortlessly it flows to you. Feel it now. Feel the ease, the security, the freedom. Let go of every thought of scarcity. Wealth is not something distant. It is here, now, waiting for your acceptance. There is no need to struggle, no need to plead, no need to work yourself into exhaustion. The only work required is the inner work, the work of assumption, the work of belief, the work of knowing that money is already yours. Walk through life from this moment forward as one who is already financially free. Speak as if you are wealthy. Think as if you are wealthy. Act as if you are wealthy. Not out of arrogance, but out of the deep and unshakable truth that what you assume must come to pass. Your world is not separate from you. It is you reflected outwardly. Every circumstance, every financial condition, every so-called chance event is nothing more than the projection of your internal state of mind. If you find yourself in lack, struggling to make ends meet, constantly worried about money, it is not because the world is unfair or opportunities are scarce. It is because, on a deep level, you have accepted the idea of scarcity as truth. Likewise, those who seem to attract wealth effortlessly do not do so by luck or external advantage, but because they have internally accepted abundance as their natural state. The mind is the foundation of all experience. Whatever you hold to be true within yourself must eventually externalize in your world. You may believe that money is difficult to earn, that financial success requires relentless struggle, or that wealth is only for a select few. If these ideas dominate your consciousness, then the world will confirm them. You will see your bank account reflect limitation. Your opportunities will seem few, and you will feel trapped in an endless cycle of financial hardship. This is not because reality is inherently harsh, but because you have unknowingly imposed these limitations upon yourself. The wealthy, on the other hand, do not necessarily work harder than others, nor are they inherently more deserving. The difference lies in their assumption about money. To them, money is natural, abundant, and ever-flowing. They do not question whether they deserve it, nor do they worry about losing it. They operate from an inner state of financial security, and as a result, their external world arranges itself to match that belief. Even in times of apparent crisis, they do not fall into fear because their foundation is unshaken. They know, deep within, that abundance is their natural state, and so it remains. You must understand that money itself holds no power over you. It is neutral. It does not determine your worth, nor does it dictate your happiness. What gives money power is your belief about it. If you believe money is difficult to obtain, it will be. If you believe it is constantly slipping through your fingers, you will always feel like you never have enough. But if you shift your internal perception, if you begin to see money as an effortless, natural part of your life, it will respond accordingly. Consider how easily you accept the air you breathe. You do not wake up wondering if there will be enough oxygen for you today. You do not feel the need to chase it, to beg for it, or to fight for it. You simply know that it is there, available to you at all times. Imagine if you treated money the same way. Imagine if you released the fear, the stress, the feeling of lack, and simply accepted that financial abundance is as natural as the air around you. How different would your experience be? Most people try to change their financial situation by taking external action while ignoring their internal state. They chase opportunities, work long hours, and force themselves into struggle, all while holding on to the belief that money is difficult to attain. This is why their efforts often bring little lasting change. The key is not in the struggle, but in the shift of consciousness. Before money can appear in your external world, it must first be accepted within. To shift your internal state, begin by observing your thoughts and emotions around money. Do you feel stress and worry when you think about it? Do you catch yourself saying, "I can't afford that," or "I never have enough"? These small, seemingly insignificant thoughts are powerful, for they reinforce the very conditions you wish to change. Start replacing these thoughts with new ones. When you find yourself thinking of lack, consciously shift your focus to abundance. Instead of saying, "I can't afford it," say, "Money flows to me effortlessly, and I always have more than enough." Instead of worrying about bills, affirm, "All my financial needs are met with ease." Visualization is also a powerful tool. Take a moment each day to close your eyes and feel the reality of financial abundance, not as something distant, but as something real happening now. Imagine yourself living the life of wealth and ease. Feel the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with knowing money is always present. As you do this consistently, your subconscious mind will accept it as truth, and the external world will adjust accordingly. You must also release the fear of losing money. Many who achieve wealth fall back into financial struggle because they never truly shifted their inner state. They accumulated money but remained fearful of losing it. Fear attracts the very thing it focuses on. True financial freedom is not just having money, but knowing that money is always available to you, no matter the circumstance. Understand that you are the source of all abundance. The external world is not something separate from you, dictating your circumstances. It is your own consciousness materialized. Change your inner state, and your financial reality must change as well. Accept money as natural, let go of struggle, and assume the mindset of effortless abundance. The moment you do, wealth will no longer be something you chase. It will be something that flows to you, because it has already been accepted within. Money, like all things in life, is an energy that responds to the state of mind you hold. When you view money as something difficult to obtain, something that requires endless struggle and effort, you unknowingly push it further away. The very act of struggling affirms that you do not have it. The harder you chase, the more you reinforce the idea that it is not already yours. But what if you could shift your approach entirely? What if, instead of struggling, you relaxed into the certainty that money is already on its way to you, effortlessly and abundantly? The belief that wealth requires struggle is deeply ingrained in many. From a young age, people are conditioned to think that money is something that must be fought for, something that comes only through hard work and sacrifice. They are told that financial freedom is reserved for the lucky or the privileged, and that the only way to attain it is through relentless effort. But this mindset only creates more resistance. It places money on a pedestal, making it something separate, something distant, something to be chased. And anything you chase remains just out of reach. Consider those who seem to attract money with ease. They do not run after it, nor do they exhaust themselves in the process of acquiring it. Instead, they carry a calm certainty, a quiet confidence that money will always be there for them. They do not worry about where it will come from. They simply expect it to come. And because they expect it, it does. Their mindset aligns with abundance, and as a result, abundance flows naturally to them. On the other hand, those who constantly struggle for money unknowingly reinforce its absence. When you are desperate, anxious, or fearful about money, you are sending a signal that you believe it is lacking in your life. Your emotions and beliefs create your reality. The more you focus on lack, the more lack you will experience. Even when money does come, if you are operating from a mindset of struggle, it will slip through your fingers and you will find yourself back in the same cycle of financial hardship. The solution is to release the struggle. It does not mean you stop taking action or become passive. It means you shift the way you relate to money. Instead of chasing, you allow. Instead of forcing, you receive. Instead of worrying, you trust. This shift begins with a change in perspective. Imagine for a moment that money is not something outside of you, but something that naturally flows to you like air. You do not chase after air. You do not wonder if there will be enough for you tomorrow. You do not wake up in a state of panic about whether or not you will be able to breathe. You simply trust that the air is always present, always available. What if you treated money the same way? What if, instead of fearing its absence, you trusted in its constant availability? One of the most powerful ways to detach from the struggle mindset is to embody the feeling of already having money. This means stepping into the emotional and mental state of financial abundance before it physically appears. Instead of worrying about bills, feel the relief and ease of knowing they are effortlessly paid. Instead of stressing over income, feel the confidence of knowing that money flows to you in unexpected and limitless ways. By shifting your internal state, you align yourself with abundance, and your external world must follow. This is not about pretending or faking it. It is about truly accepting that wealth is already yours. When you relax into this truth, you no longer need to chase. You no longer need to force. You trust in the natural flow of abundance, and that trust allows money to move toward you effortlessly. Detaching from struggle also means letting go of fear, fear of not having enough, fear of losing what you already have, fear of financial uncertainty. These fears only create more scarcity. Instead, develop a mindset of security, no matter your current circumstances. Even if your bank account is empty, do not allow your mind to dwell on lack. Remind yourself that what you see in the physical world is only a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. Change your thoughts now, and your financial situation will soon change to match them. The irony is that when you stop struggling for money, it begins to appear in your life more easily. When you stop worrying, you free up your energy to receive opportunities. When you stop chasing, you become magnetic to wealth. This is not about working less or avoiding responsibility. It is about shifting from a place of desperation to a place of calm expectation. There is no need to fight for money. There is no need to stress over it. Abundance is already available to you. The only thing that keeps it at bay is your belief that you must struggle for it. Let go of that belief. Trust in the flow of money as naturally as you trust in the rising of the sun. Relax and know that it is already yours. Wealth is not something outside of you. It is not a number in a bank account, nor is it the possessions you accumulate. Wealth is, first and foremost, a state of consciousness. Before money can appear in your reality, you must first claim it in your imagination. You must become rich in thought, in feeling, in certainty, before the world reflects it back to you. Many believe that they will feel wealthy once they have money, that the external proof must come first. But this is an illusion. The world does not dictate what you believe. Rather, what you believe dictates the world you experience. If you wait for money to feel rich, you will always be waiting. But if you assume the feeling of wealth now, before any visible change, your external reality will inevitably shift to match that assumption. Everything in your life is a reflection of your state of being. If you live with a mindset of lack, constantly thinking about what you do not have, worrying about bills, and feeling the weight of financial struggle, you are reinforcing that state of being. Your mind is like a projector, casting your internal world onto the screen of reality. You cannot expect to see a movie of abundance when the real you are playing is one of scarcity. So, how do you shift? How do you step into the consciousness of wealth when your external circumstances seem to say otherwise? The answer is simple. Live as if you are already wealthy. This does not mean reckless spending or pretending to be something you are not. It means embracing the inner confidence, security, and ease that a wealthy person naturally feels. It means walking through life knowing that money is always flowing to you, that opportunities are limitless, and that abundance is your natural state. It means replacing thoughts of worry with thoughts of gratitude. Replacing thoughts of worry with trust that everything you need. Consider the difference in energy between someone who is struggling financially and someone who is truly wealthy. A person trapped in scarcity is anxious, desperate, and fearful. They make decisions from a place of lack, clinging to every dollar, fearing that there will never be enough. They constantly affirm their poverty with thoughts like, I can't afford this, I never have enough, money is hard to get. These thoughts solidify their financial reality. Now contrast this with a person who embodies the consciousness of wealth. They are calm, they trust that money will always be available to them. They do not chase, they attract. They see opportunities where others see obstacles. They are generous, not because they have excess, but because they know giving and receiving are part of the same flow. They affirm abundance with thoughts like, money comes to me easily. There is always more than enough. I am open to receiving wealth in all forms. And because they think this way, their reality aligns accordingly. You can begin shifting into this consciousness now, regardless of your present financial situation. Start by imagining yourself as wealthy. Not someday, not in the distant future, but right now. Close your eyes and step into the version of yourself who already has everything they desire. How does this version of you walk? How do they speak? What do they believe about money? How do they feel when they check their bank account? Immerse yourself in this feeling until it becomes second nature. Your imagination is the blueprint of your reality. What you accept as true internally must manifest externally. If you persist in the assumption of wealth, your world will reshape itself to reflect that belief. This is not wishful thinking. This is the law of consciousness. The world cannot contradict the state you dwell in. Some may argue that they cannot feel wealthy while their bills pile up, while they struggle to make ends meet. But understand this: reacting to your current circumstances only keeps them alive. What you focus on expands. If you want to change your financial reality, you must stop reinforcing what you do not want. Instead, give your full attention to what you do want: wealth, ease, financial freedom, and make that your dominant feeling. This is the key. Act as if it is already done. Think, speak, and feel as a wealthy person would, even before the evidence appears. Do not look to the world to confirm it first. Your confirmation comes from within. The moment you claim wealth in consciousness, the process of manifestation begins. It may not happen overnight, but if you persist in this state, the world will rearrange itself to match your new assumption. You are already wealthy. not because of what you see in the physical, but because of what you hold in your mind. Let go of the old beliefs of struggle and limitation. Step into the knowing that abundance is already yours. Live from that truth and watch as money, opportunities, and prosperity flow into your life effortlessly. Your financial reality is a reflection of who you believe yourself to be. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, who never has enough, who is always chasing after money, then that is exactly the experience you will continue to have. Your identity, what you assume to be true about yourself, dictates what you allow into your life. Many people try to change their financial situation without first changing their self-concepts. They seek new jobs, new strategies, or external opportunities while still carrying the identity of someone who is struggling. They wonder why, no matter what they do, money always seems to slip through their fingers, why their bank accounts never grow, why they remain stuck in the same financial cycles. The reason is simple. They have not yet changed the person they believe themselves to be. Your world is a mirror, reflecting back to you your innermost assumptions. If you identify as a person who is bad with money, who can't seem to get ahead, who is always in debt, then no matter how hard you try, your subconscious will work to confirm those beliefs. You will make decisions, take actions, and create circumstances that align with that identity, often without even realizing it. But the moment you shift your self-concept, everything changes. When you begin to see yourself as someone who is financially abundant, who naturally attracts and manages money well, who always has more than enough, your world will start to shift in response. You will make different choices. You will attract different opportunities. You will behave in ways that reinforce your new reality. This is why wealthy individuals tend to stay wealthy, because they carry the self-perceived of a person who is wealthy. They do not doubt their financial security. They do not feel anxious about money. They know at their core that abundance is their natural state. Even if they lose money, they do not panic because their identity is intact. They trust that more will come, and so it does. If you want to change your financial reality, you must first change how you see yourself. Begin by observing the thoughts and words you use around money. Do you speak from lack? Do you constantly tell yourself, I can't afford that, money is hard to get, I'm always broke? These statements reinforce the very reality you are trying to escape. Every time you affirm your struggle, you are cementing it further into place. Start speaking and thinking from the identity of a wealthy person. Say to yourself, I am someone who attracts money easily. I always have more than enough. Wealth flows to me effortlessly. These are not just words, they are declarations of a new identity. The more you affirm them, the more your subconscious will accept them as truth. Your behaviors will follow. A person who believes they are wealthy acts differently from someone who believes they are struggling. They handle money with confidence. They make decisions from a place of abundance, not fear. They invest in themselves. They are generous not because they have excess, but because they trust in the flow of money. You do not need to wait for financial success to begin acting as a wealthy person would. Start now. How would a person with financial ease move through life? How would they think? How would they feel when they check their bank account? What kind of conversations would they have about money? Step into that identity and watch as your world begins to shift. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what you repeatedly affirm. If you consistently reinforce a new identity of wealth, it will become your truth. And once your self-concept shifts, your external reality has no choice but to follow. You must stop seeing wealth as something outside of yourself, something separate from you, something you have to chase. Instead, recognize that it is a state of being, a reflection of who you assume yourself to be. The moment you claim a new identity, you activate a new reality. Let go of the old self, the one who struggled, the one who worried, the one who believed money was scarce. That version of you no longer exists. Step fully into the identity of someone who is financially free, and your world will reshape itself to match that assumption. Wealth is not something you achieve. It is something you become. Most people believe that financial abundance comes from effort, from struggle, from doing more, working harder, pushing against the world until money finally appears. But this is an illusion. The true secret to wealth is not in doing, it is in feeling. What you feel now determines what you experience later. If you wait for money to show up before you allow yourself to feel abundant, you are reversing the process. You are saying to life, I will feel wealthy once I have wealth, but life only reflects back what you assume to be true. If you feel lack, if you feel stress, if you feel uncertainty, then that is what will continue to manifest in your world. But when you shift your feelings, when you step into the sensation of already having, already being, already experiencing financial ease, everything begins to change. Reality reshapes itself to match your inner state. This is not a trick, nor is it wishful thinking. It is the fundamental way in which your world operates. Think of a time when you felt truly secure, even if just for a moment. Maybe you received an unexpected sum of money, and for a brief period you felt relief. Maybe you completed a task successfully and felt the confidence of knowing you were capable. Maybe you imagined a future where everything worked out and you felt the warmth of that possibility. That feeling, security, ease, confidence, is the key. The money itself is not the goal. The goal is the state of being that money represents to you. It is never about the numbers in your bank account. It is about how those numbers make you feel. So why wait? Why postpone the feeling of financial security when you can feel it right now? The moment you choose to feel wealthy without any external validation, you activate a new reality. You signal to life that this is your state of being, and life has no choice but to conform. This is why so many who chase money never seem to catch it. They move from a state of lack, of desperation, of anxiety, and all they do is reinforce those feelings. They push harder, struggle more, try every strategy, yet their reality does not shift. Because internally, they still feel like they are lacking. Try a different approach. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as already wealthy, not in the distant future, not as a possibility, but as your current truth. What does it feel like to wake up in complete financial security? How does it feel to know that money is always flowing to you? Experience the lightness, the relaxation, the quiet confidence of a person who no longer worries about finances. Let that feeling sink into you. Carry it with you throughout the day. When doubts arise, remind yourself that your state of being creates your reality. If you can feel it now, it must materialize. It is law. This is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about shifting your awareness to a higher truth. The truth that abundance is not outside of you. It is within you, waiting for you to claim it. Look around at those who naturally attract money. They do not chase it. They do not beg for it. They move with a quiet certainty, a knowing that it is already theirs. They expect financial ease, and so they experience financial ease. Do not seek money. Seek the feeling that money represents. Once you embody that feeling, money will follow. This is the law, and it does not fail. Many people unknowingly push wealth away because they carry fear and guilt about money. They have been conditioned to believe that money is evil, that desiring abundance is selfish, or that wealth is only for a select few. These beliefs are deeply ingrained, often passed down through generations, and they create an invisible barrier between them and financial freedom. But money itself is not good or bad, it is neutral, an energy that flows in response to your beliefs and assumptions. Just as the ocean does not judge the waves that rise and fall, money does not discriminate. It simply moves toward those who are open to receiving it. If you hold fear around money, if you believe that wealth will corrupt you or make you less spiritual, you will unconsciously resist it. You may desire more, but at the same time you will push it away, creating a cycle of struggle. You may sabotage opportunities, reject financial blessings, or feel undeserving of abundance, all because deep down you associate money with something negative. Let go of these false ideas. Wealth is not a sign of greed. It is a sign of expansion. The more you have, the more you can give, the more freedom you experience, and the greater your ability to create, support, and uplift others. Money is not something to fear. It is something to accept as a natural part of life. Look at nature. There is no limitation, no withholding. The trees do not struggle to grow. The rivers do not beg to flow. The sun does not hesitate to shine. Abundance is everywhere, constantly expressing itself. You too are part of this divine abundance. The same energy that sustains the universe is flowing through you, and money is simply one of its many forms. If you have been conditioned to feel guilty about money, recognize that this guilt serves no one. Rejecting wealth does not help the poor, and struggling financially does not make you more virtuous. The belief that suffering is noble is one of the greatest illusions. There is nothing noble about lack. True virtue lies in understanding that you are meant to thrive, to flourish, to experience the fullness of life. Wealth is not reserved for a chosen few. It is available to all who align with it, all who release the false beliefs that keep it at a distance. The moment you let go of guilt, the moment you see money as an extension of the divine flow, it will begin to move toward you effortlessly. This is why those who feel comfortable with wealth tend to attract more of it. They do not carry guilt. They do not question whether they deserve it. They simply accept it as a natural part of life. They do not apologize for their success, nor do they feel the need to justify their financial blessings. They understand that money is meant to circulate, to be used, to create, to expand. You must do the same. Release any lingering fear, any hesitation, any belief that wealth is out of reach. Know that you are worthy of abundance, not because of anything you have done, but because it is your natural state. Just as you do not need to earn the right to breathe, you do not need to prove yourself to receive financial blessings. You are already enough. Allow money to flow to you without resistance. Instead of feeling guilt when you receive, feel gratitude. Instead of fearing what wealth will do to you, trust that you will use it wisely. Instead of believing that there is not enough for everyone, recognize that abundance is limitless. When you let go of fear and guilt, you make room for wealth to enter your life. You no longer block its flow with limiting beliefs. You no longer sabotage your own success. And you no longer carry unnecessary burdens. Money is not something you must chase, nor is it something you must suffer for. It is an extension of divine abundance, meant to move through you freely. Accept it without guilt, welcome it without hesitation, and watch as your reality transforms. The truth about wealth has always been simple. It is not something you must struggle for, nor is it something to fear. Money is a reflection of your inner state, a natural extension of divine abundance that is meant to flow effortlessly into your life. When you detach from the struggle mindset, when you shift your identity to that of a person who naturally attracts wealth, and when you feel abundance before it appears, you align yourself with the reality you desire. Let go of the old beliefs that have kept you in lack. Stop seeing money as something outside of you, something difficult to attain. Instead, recognize that wealth is already yours in consciousness, and as you claim it internally, it must manifest externally. There is no need for guilt, no need for fear. Money is not evil, nor does it belong only to a select few. It is simply a tool, a means through which you can experience greater freedom, joy, and expansion. Accept it with gratitude, welcome it without hesitation, and trust that as you change within, your financial reality will transform. You are already wealthy the moment you decide to be. Live from that knowing, and the world will reflect it back to you. Thank you.